Welcome to Joe's Inferno episode 2. If you watched the previous episode, then you know the format. It should be fun to watch. I'm excited. I'm also excited we have 2 local offerings in our flight of hot sauces. One from Irish Spikes and one from the Old European that I think are both incredibly tasty. So I'm excited for everybody to try those. Today, for this episode, I'm joined by ASUI, or the Associated Students of the University of Idaho. So I'm wondering if you can go through and introduce yourself. So who you are and kind of what role you serve.
I'm Anya Zuercher. I am Senate Pro-Tempore for our Senate body.
My name is Martha Smith, and I'm the Student Body President of the University of Idaho.
I'm Seyi, Arogundade, and I am the Chief of Staff of the ASUI.
Hi, I'm Emma Johnston, and I'm the current ASUI VP.
Cool. And my name is Brackett, Director of Student Involvement. I am a 19th year senior. So that's awesome. How are you all experienced, or do you like spice?
No.
No? Okay,
I'm not.
I like it in some occasions.
Some occasions? Okay.
Yeah, my family uses a lot of spice, so it shouldn't be too bad.
All right.
I'm
good.
a hot sauce fanatic, but I'm a little scared, so I could top it to
2
you.
fanatics, 1 maybe and 1 no.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is gonna be brutal.
I cried in the last episode,
Oh.
so it's going to be great.
That's so
If
comforting.
I can avoid that,
Yeah.
I will consider it victory.
Okay.
All right, so should we get started?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so the first sauce is the classic hot sauce by Hot Ones. And like I said before, it's 1,700 on the Scoville unit.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Me too.
Maybe
It
this will be the
smells
thing
really
that
good.
gets me into spice.
It does.
All right, so are you
Give
all
it a
ready
whirl?
to
Yeah.
try it at the same time?
Yeah.
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 All right,
3, 2,
Wait.
1.
dip and go.
Oh, what?
It's already too spicy.
Good flavor.
That's
Oh,
pretty
good.
good.
The first question is just kind of a get to know you question. Nothing too serious, but I'd like to know from each of you, like, what's your favorite hobby, right? And how did you get into it, and how has it impacted your life or created a memorable experience?
So my favorite hobby is, from what Martha and I discussed, is pink. That might not seem like a hobby to a lot of people, but it's a lifestyle for me. I have a pink car. I have a lot of pink shoes. All my clothes are pink. I'm like the real life like Barbie or Sharpay Evans, but like in the minor scale, if you call a pink car minor. But I think my whole life it's been pink. My mom tried to make me a purple girl, which normally when your parents inflict a color on you, it works. It didn't.
Purple sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a purple sister, a blue sister, and an orange sister. So I got all the separate colors. But yeah, I would say pink.
I think you picked the right color. I'm a former Coug, and I can't stand purple.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's ingrained, yeah. Go for it.
For me, this is always like a hard question for me, which is like so dumb, but I love what I do in my professional life, which is like such an annoying answer, but I also love working out. And so I think for me, like if I'm not like spending time with friends or like that sort of thing, I love weight training and I love cardio. So that's kind of my outlet when I'm not doing stuff. So which is a really dry, boring answer, but that's the reality of it.
I think my favorite hobby is reading. I just got a job at our local bookstore.
Oh, congrats,
Go
Shay.
Book People.
Moscow?
But yes, Moscow Book People. But I just really love reading. I've always loved to just pick up a book and kind of get lost in the stories. I'm a big daydreamer, so like having like an outlet for that and just being able to immerse yourself in a story is something that I really love.
I'd probably say scuba diving's my top favorite one. I'm a hobbies person. I like to have multiple and to spend a fair amount of time on one, drop it, and kind of go to the other. But that's been one consistent since about 8-9 years now. I think it's my favorite just because it's opened up my world perspective overall. I think it just kind of gives me a new appreciation for nature. It's a way to bond with my dad, and I've met a lot of cool people from it.
All right. For this next one, we're going to be doing Pico Rico by Pico Peppers. It's 15,000 on the Scoville scale. We're not getting too hot yet. My favorite thing about this is it has a cat on the label, but it's also
Okay.
flavorful.
What does it taste like?
Hot sauce.
Okay, well, okay. The last one tastes like garlic, right? Is that the deal?
This one has some garlic. It's not the same profile though.
Okay.
It's hard for me to describe.
Okay.
You ready to try it?
Oh, I
Yes.
forgot that's next part.
All right.
Wait,
Doesn't
that's
have
so
much
yummy.
flavor.
What, I like that a
Stop.
lot.
Really good.
Oh.
You don't like it?
I mean, I just don't think it has much flavor.
I kind of think
I think I can taste
the
the
one on
carrot.
the end should be like switched almost.
You think so?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think this is milder than the last one.
So, for the folks that don't know what ASUI is, how do you guys impact the average student's lives? Or in what ways?
Good question.
I think that it's a lot of like behind the scenes work that ASUI does. I mean, other than tabling, we table quite often for a lot of different reasons and give out resources and stuff like that. But I think that a lot of what ASUI works on is behind the scenes, how it will affect the future of students here. Like we do a lot of background work, and so that's why I think there's a lot of confusion of what ASUI does. Is because we do a lot that they don't see.
I also think that ASUI, in the most pure form, is just a way to communicate in an efficient way. You know, in like the grand scheme of things, we're kind of like a union in a way for the student body, and we have a really unique and effective way of communicating with university admin and people who work at the university, and I think they actually listen. And so, I think for the average student, we, like Anya said, do a lot of background work and communicate what they're thinking in a more sophisticated way than one person could.
Yeah, and I think with ASUI as well, we do a lot of projects that impact the student body. And so one cool thing about that is like students can come up to us with their projects and their ideas, and we can collaborate and create that into a format that's feasible within the university. And I just think that's a really cool thing to have such direct access to the people who are supposed to fight for you and work for you, and that's what we try to do.
I think the easiest way to sum it up is we're the Vandal voice. In a sense, we communicate between the university officials, and people might not always see that, but we do listen to complaints, concerns, and we try, in the best of our ability to be able to fix those, whether it's plausible, whether it's like a 3-year plan. And I think that's what people don't always understand is that while we do have all these amazing ideas and all of these amazing ways to fix things, it does take time, and most of the projects that will start, we won't see within our term of ASUI. It'll come into fruition a little bit later. And so I think that's probably the simplest way to understand how like the process of it works.
Yeah. The Vandal Voice would be a good name for a podcast or TV show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually that's
Yeah,
what me and
actually.
Martha might start up, and it's also our Instagram name.
Yeah.
It says ASUI the Vandal
does it?
Voice. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's move on to sauce number 3.
Sweet.
So, what we got next is actually one of our local offerings. It's the Vandal sauce, which is available in the Vandal store
Oh wow.
by Irish Spikes, who has like 20 or 30 sauces. I met the guy last weekend at the farmer's market. He was like in an all red sequin suit, and I loved it.
Sounds
That's
like my
so
kind of
fun.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
This one actually is really, it's got great flavor. And I'm not just trying to sell a local product.
Yeah.
It's actually really good. All right, well, you ready to try it?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that one.
It's really good.
Me too.
Are you feeling?
I'm good, actually.
That's good.
Maybe I'll be a.
Yeah, that one actually wasn't bad.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
You know, the number is more intimidating than the sauce.
Yeah.
Well, and this one we don't have a number for because it's local, so it hasn't
Okay.
been put on the scale. But
Yeah, I like it.
I really like that one actually.
yeah, it's really good.
Wait. Shout out Vandals, that's awesome.
So, the question this one, are you all familiar with the WWE?
A little bit.
Yes.
A little bit?
Yeah.
My
Okay.
dad
Cena?
loves WWE.
Who?
My dad.
Oh, yeah?
He
I
loves
never-
it so bad. And my mom would clown him because she's like, well, it's fake, obviously. And my dad's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
She's like, okay.
It's real acting.
It is. No, yeah, it is real.
Well, I never watched it much either, but I do know that some of the bigger ones, they all have their own theme song that plays when they enter the ring, right? So I'm wondering, if you were wrestlers or just in life and you were entering a room and you had a theme song play to introduce you, what song would you pick?
I think mine would be "Ready for It" by Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good walk-on song and it explains my personality. You have to be ready for it.
Yeah. It wouldn't be Pink by
Ah,
Aerosmith.
come on.
You know,
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. I think for me, I would do Silver Springs by Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
I love that
That's a
song.
good
I don't know.
song.
I can't even really explain why I think that's mine. I just really like that song.
It's the part when it's like
Never get
Uh-huh.
away. Yeah, no, I love that.
I think mine would be Commas by Iris Starr. It's such a good song, and it's just like, it's wonderful, it's beautiful, I love it.
Hey, look at
I think mine would be old time rock and roll. I really like the scene from Risky Business. If anyone's seen the movie with Tom Cruise when he's like sliding across in the socks and the shirt,
Oh,
and I feel like that could be a really good intro. He's got the sunglasses, he's going across. Pretty good.
I like it.
And underwear, we should point out.
Yeah, yeah, the underwear too. I feel like it's WWE. I feel like that would make kind of sense.
right.
You know?
Exactly.
I'm thinking about the whole picture here.
The tie-in.
Yeah. You know what my song would be?
What?
Genesis, I Can't Walk. Because of the chair.
Oh,
yeah.
Brandon, I feel like I can have.
I don't think I can laugh
myself.
at that.
I was like, let me just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah,
Wait,
mine is
I think I have to do a quiet
Yeah, if you
chuckle.
laughed at that, you're a bad person. But
Whoa.
Oh, brother. For number 4 here, we have Los Calientes Roja hot sauce. It's also by Hot Ones. It honestly is, it's my favorite hot sauce. I just love the flavor on this one. And it's the one that I insist on keeping in stock in my house. All right, we're ready?
Yeah,
Yeah.
give it a
All right,
roll.
let's
Give it
try
a full
Los
salsa.
Calientes.
Okay. I have high expectations for this one.
It's good.
I do like that.
That one's
John
good.
just like salsa.
You know,
I like it.
wait, I need to try it again.
Mm-hmm.
I need
You're
a
gonna
good-
tell me it's not hot. That's fine.
I need to get a good review for you.
I would say the bottom 5 are
Okay.
more about flavor than they are about heat, although they are
Right.
escalating in heat. I did forget to say this one is 49,000
Yeah,
on
it's
the
hot.
Scoville
So I think it's
sale.
very like a smoky hot
Yeah.
sauce. I don't,
That's hot.
yeah. Smoky's not normally my forte.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say hot, but it just has like a really good tomatoey flavor.
So the question I have for you this time is just how did you each get involved in ASUI, and what are some ways that students this year can get plugged into or included in ASUI?
So I think I really got involved in ASUI. I mean, I kind of knew I wanted to be in it before I even came up to the University of Idaho. I was at U Idaho Bound, and I met the former president from a couple years ago, 2022, and she was like talking. I was like, no, this is what I want to do. So over that summer, I like reached out to ASUI and everything. It took me 3 times to get in, but I got in. And that is to show persistence. And so with that,
I was there for all of them.
Yeah, she was there for all of them.
I was-
She was the one encouraging me too, actually. Yeah. With that, I think the biggest advice I have for people who want to get involved in ASUI is to show persistence, because just because you're not chosen the first time or the second time, that does not mean you don't belong. And I think that's the biggest thing, is like when someone's told no, they normally think they don't have enough to offer. I don't think that's the case. So I just think you should persist, because I'm here now and I'm doing great. So
I think for me, I had kind of an unconventional start. So when I was a freshman, the adjutant position, which is essentially like the note keeper for the Senate, had come open, and I had also listened to Katie Hediga, who was the vice president at the time, speak at like a U Idaho Bound, and she mentioned ASUI and stuff, and it sounds really cheesy, but I love being a part of something like bigger than myself, and that's kind of the lifeblood of like who I am and what I do. And so when I got up here, I applied to be adjutant, ended up getting it, and I've kind of been in ASUI ever since. And I always joke that I've been in ASUI for longer than I've been actually in classes at U of I, because it actually, like, I was actually technically in ASUI before classes started. So yeah, it's been awesome, and I think my biggest piece of advice would be to watch our social media. I think it's hard sometimes to like communicate things effectively to like really large areas of campus. We definitely do our best, but it's just always difficult, right? But the Instagram is kind of where we post most of those updates. So staying up with that and being cognizant of that is probably the most important, at least timeline and opportunity-wise.
Facebook's where most of the cool people are, though, right?
Well, that's where I am. I love Facebook, but that's also probably very antiquated of me. So.
Wow, you are old.
I know.
Just
I'm
kidding.
on Facebook. That's because
I know.
all of my Gen X folks are.
I know.
Well,
so
Marketplace is
we're trash.
awesome.
Facebook Marketplace is the best. Yeah.
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 I cannot figure out Facebook for the life of me. I only know the marketplace button.
Yeah. Fair enough.
That's all
Fair
I
enough.
know.
So for me, I kind of always knew that I wanted to be on ASUI. And a really big part of who I am and who I want to keep being is a representative voice for people who look like me. And so being a part Being a part of ASUI was kind of my intro into that, and I've loved it ever since. I've only been doing this for like a semester and some change, but I've just had a grand old time. And so I think that some advice I have for people wanting to go into ASUI is you just gotta do it. You just gotta apply when the positions become open. You just gotta jump in. So.
So I didn't really know what ASUI was up until my sophomore year, so up until we had President Tanner McLean. I didn't really know what it entailed or anything like that. I remember the elections kind of coming around, but other than that, I had no idea. And then I was sitting down with some of my friends one night, and we were just kind of talking about like what he was doing with it, and I started spewing off ideas that I had, and then he sent me the application link, and some of the other directors who I was already friends with at the time talked to me about it. And basically I just saw a bunch of people who wanted to help the student body, who were involved, who were passionate about it, and they seemed really cool, so that's why I joined.
All right, so this next sauce is actually a local sauce too. It's peri peri sauce by Old European, which is a restaurant over in Pullman.
Okay.
It is also, I feel like I'm cheating, but it's a little thicker, but it's one of my favorite sauces as well. Really good on eggs, but yeah, let's give it a try.
Old European's the breakfast place, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Are we
Let's do
ready?
it.
Okay.
Actually, this one smells strong. I can smell it. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
That one's good. That one's really good.
I know that'd be good on eggs.
Yeah, it's good.
Seems like an egg sauce.
Yeah, it's a great breakfast sauce,
I bet.
but it works on chicken.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, not too hot. You're doing.
I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's good. We already mentioned it, but Emma, you like to scuba dive. I bring that up because I really want to talk about myself, but to me that brings up like one of my greatest fears, which is like small areas and like being caught in underwater cave. That's what I imagine. So the question is, what is an irrational fear that you have, and how do you think you developed it?
I had an irrational fear. I don't know if I still have it, but it might probably still be there. Of hillbilly hand fishing. It's when you like put your hand in a catfish hole and you stick it in there and it bites on your hand and like then it kind of pulls you under. I watched that. I was like younger. We were on like a houseboat, and I remember we were like a bunch of the kids were all like kind of sitting by. And one of the older guys, he like turned it on, and everybody was like liking it. But I just saw like this like lady get like pulled under the water, and I remember I like freaked out. And then I was like, I didn't want to go swimming on like the next day, and I was like fully like laying with a life jacket like fully outspread because I was scared the catfish was gonna like grab my leg and pull me under. So yeah, hillbilly fan fishing.
And then that's why you got into scuba, right? So you always had some air supply.
See him.
Well, I'm not really a big fan of lake diving as much, but yeah, no, so I can see him coming.
Fair enough.
Ooh. I would say my kind of silly, irrational fear is like the lizards that are like personified, like you know, like the Geico mascot.
Really?
Yes,
I love him.
They're freaky. The lizard that was in like Rango or Tango or whatever that movie is, like.
I love that.
I don't like the way that they
Damn.
speak and
Okay.
walk and move,
Wow.
and it's.
I had like a rubber version of the Geico lizard.
No, it's weird. It's
Like very
odd. I
specific.
don't like that you're speaking. So yeah,
Wow.
that's my irrational fear.
Fair enough.
You're okay with other animals?
I'm so fine with other animals. It's just like the lizards that are like walking upright and then speaking to you.
Interesting.
That's
No.
awesome.
I guess I have like an irrational fear.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
definitely
saying.
don't like the idea of being buried alive. Like I feel like being trapped in something like that and like.
I feel like that's more rational though.
That's
Like,
a
Yeah,
very
no, it's like,
rational
that feels like
fear.
that feels like
Yeah.
very irrational. I don't know.
I really don't think I have
I think
it either.
irrationally.
when something
I
just
don't-
kind of like wigs you out.
I don't love like. Oh, bats. Sorry,
irrational.
that really I hate
just
No,
hate
no,
bats.
I feel like that's like, or you actually get like actively like freaked
Yeah.
out by them.
Well,
Okay,
because
yeah.
here's the thing. So,
They're so good for the ecosystem.
no, sorry, I'm not a bat person. They're flying. I'm okay
they're
with
mice
rats.
with wings. They're rats
Flying
and
rats,
wings.
yeah, Sorry, that's
they're
mine.
butterflies.
That's definitely mine.
The cute little butterflies.
I can't believe I didn't remember
You
that.
You say that till
Definitely
one
bats.
goes in your hair, you'll be thinking a different.
But they eat mosquitoes. Like I'd rather have a bat than a mosquito.
When I was no. Have you ever cleaned up any bat? No. I hate bats. Anyways.
Wait, Martha, have you
Not-
ever hit a bat with your car?
Yeah, I'm not a bat person.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I really feel like I normally just have like very rational fears too, but I feel like I'm trying to. I don't know.
I don't know why,
I'm,
but I
like,
feel
trying
like
to
you
think
probably have a list of irrational fears somewhere.
I know. I'm trying to think. Like I like horror movies and stuff like that, so I'm trying to think of like something in one of those would freak me out. But I'm like,
I think it's more like about like the really like little weird things that like I feel like your conventional fears are your like being afraid of like small spaces, buried alive, like things like I don't know, just ones that everyone like clowns would kind of border on the irrational fear.
Whoa. The clown
No,
thing.
the
Come
clown.
on, none of that.
Yeah, some people,
No clowns
some
out
people,
there.
some people are actually
No.
afraid of clowns.
I don't believe
Martha,
that.
they
I've
freak
never
me
believed
out.
that.
I
My
so
irrational
forgot.
fear is
You
the
take
clowns.
that bias out.
I'm
here.
gonna be honest.
Uh-oh.
I have an irrational fear of clowns. That's my second one.
Somebody
And I
needs to
know,
explain the
and I know you have
context
you have a.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the context, Martha's parents
Are both circus clowns.
And they met in the circus.
I literally forgot. I was like, you're so right. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
no.
I get like maybe growing up, but like they freak me out. Like I don't do like we don't have them at like county fairs and stuff. And if I just saw one walking down the street, you wouldn't get the heebie-jeebies, would you?
I
Yeah.
would.
Uh-huh.
2016, the whole clowns thing just
Yeah.
popping out and trying to get you.
There was a guy running around
John-
in a scary clown
John
costume
Wayne
in
Gacy.
Moscow
Oh,
last
really?
week. Yeah,
oh,
Oh.
yeah.
from
Let's
probably
move
from
on.
City Hall in Canada.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Everything
No, no
comes
stand
bad
the
around.
clown
That's my
slander.
bad.
No
That's
clown
my
slander.
bad.
Okay, I think I thought of one. I think this is very like rational but irrational, you know, like I really do have a fear of like the dark, but like not in like the outside, but in like my room or like hallways or like things like that. Like I can be in the dark outside, that's fine, but like the thought of like something chasing me up the stairs like really gets me in the dark, you know, because I feel like there really are some things that only come out at night. So I still sleep with a nightlight, and I'm proud of it.
The world's filled with horrible things.
Right.
And with that, let's try another hot sauce.
Yeah.
I love that
I
segue.
might need another
And with that-
bacon.
So this one, you're all 21, right? Because it's got whiskey flavor. This is a 71,000 on the Scoville. So we're still making incremental increases. I think this is probably Martha. I wouldn't really worry yet.
Okay.
Maybe the next one. Are you ready to try?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That is so vinegary.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, let's distract you with the question. I'm wondering if you could all explain to me like the basic structure of ASUI, when the group meets, and where you can find an ASU rep and when to talk to.
Okay, so I, as ASUI Vice President, my kind of sole, like, not my sole job, but a large portion of the job is to oversee the Senate. So I act as Madam President of the Senate, basically. And how that works is we as senators are like the official, like one of the official voices for the university besides Martha. And we are working to communicate the students' wants and wishes with university officials, with state officials, with kind of people all over, is what we take is we take what the students want and we try to either make that, so we have two types of legislation, a bill, resolution. Resolution is kind of stating the students' opinions, are like wants about something, and a bill is allocating money for funds that directly goes back to the students. And fun fact, any student can actually write a piece of legislation. All they need is a senator to come and put their name on it and sponsor that bill to put out on the floor. But yeah, anyone can take part and write a piece of legislation. That's what kind of what the Senate does.
For cabinet.
Shake it back up on
alive a
this.
little bit.
Yes. You just like tap out. I'll
Yeah.
continue
Do you
after.
want to drink some of the
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah, no, I've never
Okay.
heard it, yeah. So for cabinet, it's kind of the second wing of ASUI, and we have a series of director positions that are kind of up to the executive members at the time on what they see as important and that sort of thing. So for example, we have director of internal affairs, around elections, funding board for clubs and that sort of thing. We have director of parking and transportation, director of legislative affairs. So it's kind of all encompassing for all the needs or interest areas of the University of Idaho. And people apply through Engage on that, and then Emma and I essentially choose people and appoint them to those positions. So they have a little bit more of a focused view of their position, but then they also do things outside of that. Because we do living reports and also.
Yeah, I'll take that on. So my job is the chief of staff, and so I really help Martha with running the cabinet and some of that like little bureaucracy stuff, and so each cabinet member and each Senate member has to have specific office hours because we get paid through student fees. And so a part of our job is making sure that we're available not only to do the work that we've set out to do, but also just be there for the students. So we all have specific office hours. If you go into the ASUI room, you can see when each director and when each senator is available.
So I think also a good way to contact people in ASUI is through social media. I think that's the most common way and the most effective way, because you don't really know who you're going to catch at like common hours and stuff like that. You'll always find someone, but if you're looking for like someone specific or with a specific responsibility, social media always works. My position is like the Pro-Tempore, so I'm an elected official of the Senate. So like the Senate elects me to be like the overseer, like with Emma, and I do like attendance and I schedule pre-sessions, which is like when we have people come talk and give us like a little bit of spiel about what they do for the university and stuff like that. Really gives us more information and better understanding of what projects we can do to work on the university.
All right, so on to sauce number 7. I am going to give you a warning. There comes a point in the hot sauce progression where it's not about flavor, and it's about science and getting as hot a hot sauce as you can. We're at that point where they're not going to taste great, but they're going to be hot.
Thank you.
And that's the point of them.
Am I just gonna die? Like, what do you mean by that?
Here we go.
Okay.
Smear it around so I get a good amount. Smear it around so I get a good amount.
Oh. It's a breath.
Is it like I'm not I'm not tasting
It's
it.
a breath hot.
Let's distract Martha with a question.
Yeah.
This one's a fun one. So the Olympics just got over. The Paralympics are going on.
Right.
Were there any particular sports that you enjoyed watching the most this last time around, and why?
The archery guy. That was my favorite.
Which
The
archery?
guy that was like so casual about it. And he didn't have any like gear or anything like that. And he just like came up and like got.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, what was
The
it? It
gun
was a gun.
shooting.
The gun shooting
Yeah.
guy. Yeah. Yeah, the gun shooting guy. He just like walked up and he was like.
I
He got
saw
a
that.
silver medal. That was crazy.
I saw that. He acted like he was just walking up to like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
that was my favorite. That was.
And
I
his
think it's-
social media is filled with him, like with his cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just,
He was
like,
so
the most laid
nonchalant.
back.
Yeah. No, that was wild.
Oh,
The deep breath in after.
Yeah.
do you want to go? You can go.
Okay.
You go for it.
I think that, well, my family always watches the gymnastics. I mean, there's 4 girls. There's 4 siblings of girls, and so we've always loved to watch like the little gymnastics. But I think the star of my Olympics was actually the one girl from lacrosse, and like I've actually followed her for a couple years. I
Yeah,
can't remember her name, but like I knew her before she was
Is it
famous,
Nina?
guys.
Starts with, is it start with an M?
Yes, I think it does. And she's on Dancing with the Stars now. And I just think she's so slay, and she is a really embodiment of like femininity, like without looking feminine. I think it's really cool.
I would have to say the sport that caught my attention was the breakdancing sport,
Like that was-
especially our good sis from Australia. I thought she was iconic. She did what she came to do. Did she do it well? Who am I to say? But I really enjoyed just watching everyone do their little dancey dance. So
I really enjoyed the TikTok memes from the breakdancing one where it was like me with one bottle of glass of wine. And it showed the meme, but I can't do it, so no judgment there. I think my favorite ones to watch were, I think like individuals, the guy who pole vaulted and like set that crazy one, that was really cool. The one dude on the US team where he was solely just for that like sport and like or that event, gymnastics. He was on the thingy with the
my gosh.
pommel horse.
yeah,
Yes,
and
the
they
pommel
just
horse
had
guy.
him for that, and he was like the hype man for that.
Like
I think
the
that was
Superman?
good. I love watching swimming. I think that's hands down my favorite event. And then women's rugby is pretty good too.
Oh wait, maybe it was rugby.
Yeah,
I think it was
That
rugby.
It was not lacrosse.
Rugby.
All right, so this next sauce, number 8, is the bomb, Beyond Insanity. I'm gonna warn you, I've never met anybody who likes how this one tastes.
Share the challenge.
So there you go. I got a little inside. Sorry.
Okay.
This one's 135,000 on the Scoville scale, so it's not much of an increase from the last one.
Okay.
Shall we, everybody?
I feel like I got kind of
Ready?
long. Oh
Let's
my
do it.
gosh,
I feel like
Martha.
that's too much.
No, you need to just
I
get
need
a
to
new
not
piece.
do that. Yeah, I need to not do that.
You just need to get a new piece.
Okay,
Like
wait.
rip that piece.
Oh, are
off.
we? Emma's going.
Here, wait. Are we going? I'm gonna do that.
Like,
Okay.
Oh.
That tastes gross. No
Oh my gosh.
Hits the back of your throat. ASUI puts on a number of programs every year. Can you highlight a few that are going to come up this year? And how can student groups get help from ASUI to put on events that they're interested in?
Yeah, I can answer.
Yeah.
So, for funding wise, we have a funding board. Sorry, I got some chicken in. We have a funding board that commences in the spring, and then so clubs and organizations will actually put in a request and do that kind of an application for funding board. And then as for help on events, Josie, our director of diversity, equity, and inclusion, actually just sponsored an event where we purchased tickets for our members for Africa Night and Bangladesh Night. And so that's kind of a way we can either write resolutions or bills and things like that to kind of showcase our support. A lot of times we've kind of been a sponsor for an event, so we'll give a little bit of money in exchange for like our branding and our name to be out there, and we'll give volunteers and stuff like that. So that's kind of a little bit of a way, at least on the Senate side, how we can kind of support clubs and organizations. Also just coming to the meetings, speaking at open forum, making meetings with us, and writing pieces of legislation.
ASUI is also putting on the winter social in the spring. And funding board actually happens both semesters. And so there's applications that come through both times of the year. So, yeah.
Seyi and Anya, are you not affected by this at all?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a little kick, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like. I'm so sorry. It wasn't like anything like too.
Yeah.
Well, let me not say too much. So back to
was
the
fun,
students.
but-
Yeah. So like, connecting with us is like kind of the best way to really talk about events or get your event like highlighted, whether you want like funding for the event or just like social media like presence, like get the people who are on ASUI and on our social medias, like project that. Yeah, I think that Emma said a lot. Emma said a lot.
I think also ASUI itself doesn't put on a whole lot of events. Like we have the winter social, but we don't have a whole lot of like massive school-wide events. We really partner with like the DSI and their events and like partnering with other people to get us there and get people there. So like if you want an event to take place, we can definitely talk about that. But if it's like an organization, we can really like help with like marketing parts of it too.
Ingestion going on, it's so
Yeah.
good for me.
This
Like, I
one
can
is
feel
called
the-
Zuzu
sorry.
7-Pot Sauce by Dawson's Hot Sauce.
Okay.
It jumps up.
it's more
Last one
chicken
was
taste like
135,000. This one is 620,000.
It tastes like candy.
This one kind of tastes like how like Indian food spices are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love Indian food.
Tastes
It
like
tastes
spice.
kind of sweet.
Yeah.
My favorite
even
fictional
when you're
character
like-
is Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
Read all the books, movies, TV. Robert Downey Jr. is the best one, or closest to the original character. I'm curious, is there a fictional character or franchise that you love most? How do you discover that?
I love The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the only like media thing that I really love. I was like literally raised on The Simpsons. Like my dad loved it, and so I think I watch The Simpsons every day, like starting at like probably 5.
Interesting.
Like everything I know about pop culture, I know from The Simpsons.
I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons.
Yeah, I've never been allowed
No.
to.
I was encouraged to, and I learned a lot from it. So The Simpsons.
I'm trying to
I love
think.
Lisa Simpson.
I'm a Scooby-Doo gal. I like my dad kind of like always like had it playing like when I was younger, so I'm a big Scooby-Doo kid.
Oh, mine's easy. Barbie.
That's
I don't
a
know
good
why I was
one.
thinking so hard. Specifically, you know, like not like Barbie herself, but like the Barbie movies, like Barbie and the
Okay, yeah.
Diamond Castle,
Yeah, that was fun.
like
Yeah,
Barbie and the Three
Da-
Musketeers.
The Dancing Princesses. I
The
just
12
watched that one
Dancing
on the
Princesses.
plane the other day.
Fun fact: 3 of my sisters are named after the 12 Dancing Princesses
Really?
Barbie movie.
Oh,
All,
really?
well,
Cool.
actually, all 3 of my sisters are. Yeah.
Wow.
Malia, Hadley, and Ashlyn.
Oh,
I love the fairy one with Bibble.
Mariposa.
No, this was I think is it Mariposa? It's the one with Bibble.
Yeah, I think it is Barbie. No, Barbie. I think it is.
I don't know. Someone's
there's-
gotta look that up.
Does she get like the butterfly wings?
I just know there's a character called Bibble.
Yeah,
I really enjoy.
yeah, Bibble.
Then maybe it's that.
Mine. Moving on from Barbie. Mine would probably be Steven Universe. I literally love that show. Me and my sister would watch it all the time when we were younger. And it's so cute, and I love it so bad. And yeah, it's my favorite.
All right. This next one I haven't tested. Brand new one.
I'm actually so scared. Stop. I'm stressed.
I picked
Why?
this one
Hey,
up.
you're the least affected by this.
Okay, yeah, but it's gonna like shoot up to 12 million or something.
No. This one's a slight increase, just from like 680,000 to 700,000.
Okay.
Okay.
This one's called Peppers Up. I picked it because there's the V's up.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that. I
Period.
think that's
Yeah,
cute.
connection.
I like
Period.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very clever.
All right, are you ready?
I'm not ready, actually. I'm so scared.
Girl.
Now I'm scared.
You and I have been killing it.
Should I just chop cheese on the end?
Actually, you've been doing really well too.
Thank you,
You
thank
you recover. You have really
Okay,
fast
this is how
recovery
much I'm
time.
putting before everyone's like, I'm
I
not.
like this one.
Okay, that's a good amount.
Okay, well, now I'm scared. Let me dab some off.
Alright.
Why are these getting sweeter?
You got a good flavor.
I like that one. It's
Oh,
that
that's
one.
not crazy.
The bomb
Yeah.
is the one that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an afterburn. So ASUI also serves as the representation for the students. You kind of already talked about that already. But you represent the students to the university, the community, and state leaders, right? So what are some of the issues and concerns that you've seen ASUI address in the past, and what do you hope to advocate for this year?
Experience.
I think for me in ASUI, I think I've watched a lot of people have some really great ideas, and I think the hard part about ASUI is it's really easy to have really good ideas, but the execution component of it is like difficult. In the past, we've worked on timely grading and advocating to faculty to that. We also had a director of diversity, equity, inclusion get the Chicana X minor into place, and that was something that I think her little sister started like years before that in ASUI, so that was really neat. And then more recently, in like more of like a legislative sphere, we advocated for the Idaho Launch Scholarship, and the Idaho Launch Scholarship actually ended up getting passed by the Idaho legislature and gave a really great
Don't forget final
yeah.
testing trips.
Yeah, and fentanyl testing strips was kind of my baby last spring, and that actually ended up going through the Idaho legislature as well. So, yeah.
And I think we do, like, when the legislative session kind of happens, we see kind of an uptake in bills and legislation in the Senate. And then, in a sense, when, okay, Gabe there, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm great. Oh. Never been better.
Yeah.
And then we, in a sense, when it's a bill in regards to higher education or that like affects our university directly, normally try to come together as ASUI, talk to our constituents, and kind of formulate an opinion based on that. So there's been a variety. They had like a mask one.
Yeah.
Martha sat there as adjutant, taking like 4 hours of meeting notes.
Yeah.
But since then, we haven't had any massively controversial bills. Other than that, we've had a fair amount of people go to like open forum and stuff like that. But I would say, I completely forgot the question. But
Right.
yeah.
No, I like that.
Thank
Little cute ending. I think that a bill that was worked on last year was getting like better accessibility access, especially for people in wheelchairs. We worked with the Center for Disability, CDAR, and just really like seeing what areas of campus needed to be improved, especially for people who needed that type of access. So I'm really excited to see where that continues to go. And then a bill that is kind of in the works, talking about just like in general campus safety and just really pushing for that and increasing that. Working with Patrick Lynch, who is the head of security within U of I,
That's awesome.
just making sure that we can do everything in our power to make campus an overall safer place.
I would say I haven't really been through many controversial or like serious legislative issue topics in my term of ASUI. I mean, we do have like those like ones where we just like put out a resolution saying like we don't support this or we do support this, just as like a university statement from ASUI. And we had a couple of those last year, but I think that the biggest thing is like what happens within our like own area, like U of I. So like I worked on last year with the CDAR one, and like with when all the diversity and inclusion areas were being targeted, I worked on that too, because that kind of was a little bit of an emotional one. And like those kind of things, making sure that people are just having checks and balances within our legislator to make sure that they're not taking away our rights here at the university.
Also, I'm going to brag on Anya for a second here. She also started a really cool project last year where students at the dorms could donate things to a space, and then students, this
I don't know.
Yeah, the summer would also get them. So
Yeah,
you talk
so
about that a little
I
bit.
kind of, that was my baby project last year, was
That's
I
cool.
started a repurpose purge, which is where, because I had international students my freshman year who literally came with nothing. I bought them everything, like so that they could have a fan and stuff like that. When I saw at the end of the school year, all the fans in the dumpsters and all the laundry hampers in the dumpsters and all these necessities that my roommates didn't get, I got really upset. And so I started this thing where like we put donation bins by all the dumpsters, constantly cleaning them out so that instead of just having nowhere to put them, they can donate them, and then we specifically hand them out to international students the following year, which we did for the first time this year. And then we open up to all the students for what the international students don't take. And it was gone, everything was gone within 2 hours. So yeah, I think it's really helping like the waste with like the wasting of things that still work and waste control, and then it's also making sure people have resources. So.
That's great. All right.
Last
I
one.
think we should gear up for the last
Actually,
one.
you know what?
Is this
After
like the
that one,
2
I am not
million, 2
scared.
trillion one?
I am
I
not
feel like
scared for
okay. I
this.
feel like we're not going like I feel like I'm at least calling myself out. We need to dip it in a little more. We
I
need to
think so
commit
too.
to the last
So,
one.
here-
Here we go.
Okay.
This
Let
one's
me just
called
grab a
The
chunk.
Last Dab Experience. It jumps up from 700,000 to 2,693,000.
Okay, got it.
Oh, I'm not.
No,
I'm not doing a
you're
full.
dipping it. You're dipping it.
Dip
I don't
it.
want- you're-
Come on,
I'm
come
dipping
on.
it. You're
We have
dipping
to
it.
prove
Okay.
our dips with everyone.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah, yeah.
intensity.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
Wait.
3, 2, 1.
It's not too bad.
As the last question,
Okay.
is there any advice you would offer University of Idaho students on how to like make the most out of their experience here?
My advice for students is to just get involved. And I know that's like probably cliche or you've probably heard it a million times, but my first semester here, I didn't do anything. And I started realizing that I am losing out on so much of the college experience by just going to class and going to my dorm and calling it a day. And so I really invested in clubs that like embrace different parts of me, whether it's my love of student government or my love of my culture. I was really, I threw myself into those experiences and I met some of the coolest people and I got to do I got super amazing opportunities. So get involved. This is my piece of advice.
Did anybody get under their tongue?
No, I got the lips.
No.
I got the lips,
Oh my
unfortunately.
God,
Oh, no.
the last.
The lips.
Under the tongue.
But yeah, I think just piggybacking off what
Maybe I
Shay
eat
said,
Sorry.
join as many clubs as possible. Just kind of make the most out of your time at this university. There's so many different organizations. The esports community right here, for example.
Shout out y'all,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah, thank you for helping us put this on. But I just think that overall, just get involved on every different organization. It doesn't have to be ASUI, but there are tons of clubs and different activities to just broaden your perspective and understanding.
I'll put a little bit of different spin on it. I think making sure to be involved in the social life of college too, on the weekends or things like that. Even if you're not in a house, there's plenty of places for you. And I was a dorm kid, and I still consider myself pretty involved in the social life of the university, and I feel like that's really important. I genuinely don't think I would have had a good as a time this entire experience without getting involved on the weekends or the socially, the events in the evening, those type of things.
Yeah.
So
Oh, outdoor program. Everyone needs to go on an outdoor program trip once as a Vandal. I think it's so important. Their
They're
trips
so
are
cool.
amazing. They're so fun. We all
They're
got
not
the
even
chance to
that
go on one of them.
Yeah.
They're
They're
honestly
not
the cheapest
expensive at
it'll
all.
be. So go to the outdoor
they're
program.
reasonable.
Yeah.
That's the best way
Shout
to
out them.
like your time on campus is get outside.
I think for me, the base piece of advice would be to actively fight against your own assumptions that other people that are in different living groups or different areas of campus from you are like you and don't want to be friends with you, right? Because for me, I think the best part about ASUI and getting involved in ASUI at such an early time in my college career is I think I didn't stay within my pocket for very long, and I think that was really, really helpful for me for a variety of different reasons. And then I think the other thing too is just go out and do as much as you possibly can, whatever that looks like for you. Makes your life so much better.
Yeah, I think a lot of people say that there's a divide on Greek life and dorm life, but I feel like there's only a divide if you let it be divided.
Yeah.
And I feel like I did not let it be divided, so I don't personally see that divide, but I know that a lot of people feel it.
Yeah.
That's the episode. Thank you so much for
Yeah, thank
making
you.
it through the whole flight, Martha. You did great.
I
Just
did
shout
better
out
than I thought.
You did
Yeah.
so-
Sorry
Thank
for
you.
the mess.
and follow the ASUI Instagram.
Yes.
There you
ASU Idaho.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Here's to not tasting anything the rest of the day.
I
Cheers!
drink my water.
Yeah, there you go.